Hello everyone, welcome to S Mathematics. This is ring theory part 4. In part 1, part 2, part 3 we have seen ring definition, properties of rings, types of rings and special rings. Special rings are the 3 rings we have learned. They are, the first one is integral domain, second one is field and the third one is Q field. Okay. Now we are going to see the field. Now how these special types of rings were formed or discussed basing on the nature of the sets or basing on the behavior of the sets with respect to the two operators plus and multiplication. We divided rings into different types of rings. Integral domain, it is one type of ring. Field, it is another type of ring. Q field, another type of ring, like that. Now here, before going to the definition of field, we will see some of the sets. Now see here, Z is the set of all integers. Q is the set of all rational numbers. And you also consider the set of all square matrices of order 2 by 2. Or 2 by 5, that is the set of all rectangular matrix. Now Z plus 5, that is the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, the set consider addition modulo 5 with respect to addition modulo 5, that is multiplication modulo 5 also you consider. Z plus 6. Now see here, if you consider all these sets, now how many type sets you have considered? 6 sets you consider. If you see carefully these 6 sets will form abelian group with respect to addition. Now set of integers is an abelian group with respect to ordinary addition. Set of rational numbers is an abelian group with respect to ordinary addition. Set of all 2 by 2 matrices is an abelian group with respect to addition. Set of all 2 by 5 matrices will form an abelian group with respect to addition. Z plus 5 is an abelian group with respect to addition. In composition table we have seen. Z plus 6 is also an abelian group with respect to addition. Now coming to multiplication, how they will behave we will see. Z is closed with respect to multiplication. Q is closed and the set of all 2 by 2 matrices multiplication is closed. Z plus 5 is closed, Z plus 6 is closed. But coming to R 2 by 5, that is the set of all 2 by 5 matrices, if you consider, multiplication is not possible. Why? Because if you want to multiply 2 matrices, the number of columns in the first matrix should be equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. That is not possible here, so it is not closed with respect to multiplication. Now see the closure property you have seen. Associativity, automatically if closure satisfies, associativity will follow. Now we will see the multiplication commutative property. Now set of integers, if commutative satisfies, set of rational numbers commutative satisfied, but matrix multiplication need not be commutative always. And here multiplication itself is not possible, commutative nothing to do. Next, Z with respect to multiplication modulo 5, Z is commutative. Z6 also commutative with respect to multiplication modulo 6. Okay, now this is set of integers is commutative satisfies, set of rationals commutative satisfies, and coming to Z plus 5, that is Z multiplication modulo 5 commutative satisfies, here also commutative satisfies. Now see the existence of multiplicative inverse. Now suppose if you consider Z contains 0, 0 is not possessing, 1 by 0 is not defined, so multiplicative inverse does not exist here. Multiplicative inverse. Coming to rational numbers, multiplicative inverse will exist here. Now matrices always does not possess inverse. Sometimes it may have, other times it may not have. So matrix multiplication is not having. Next, coming to Z plus 5. Now if you observe Z multiplication modulo 5 table, it will satisfy there exists inverse for every non-zero element. But coming to Z plus 6, there won't be inverses for some of the, with respect to multiplication for some of the elements. Now coming to here, multiplicative identity also, if you see identity here, that is unity element 1 will exist here, multiplicative identity, and here also multiplicative identity exists. Now you have considered how many groups? 6 sets of you have considered, and you have taken 2 operations, addition and modulo. With respect to addition, all the groups are abelian groups with respect to addition. Coming to multiplication, some of the groups are satisfying closed property, some of the groups are satisfying commutative property, and some of the groups are satisfying that is for in some of the groups every element is possessing its multiplicative inverse, and in some other groups they are not having multiplicative inverse for each element. Similarly, multiplicative identity exists in Q and Z5, but in other there won't be multiplicative identity. Now keeping all these things in mind, we are going to define a field. Now is it clear? Now what you have seen, that is the basing on the nature of the behavior of the elements in the given set with respect to the ordinary addition and multiplication, we are going to define different types of rings. That is, one of the ring is field. It is a special type of ring, field. Now how we are going to define field C? Okay. Now see field. Let R plus dot be any ring and A comma B belongs to R, then R is said to be a field if R is a commutative ring with unity. R is a commutative ring with unity. Now see in the previous slide, which one is a commutative ring with unity? Now if you consider Z, it is abelian, closed, commutative, but unity element is not there. Okay. Now so it is not comes under, it won't come under field. Similarly, if you take Q, it is abelian, closed, commutative, and identity element also existing, unity element. So you can consider it, it may become to be a field. Next, 2 by 2. Commutative is not satisfied, and the set of all are 2 by 5 matrices. It is also commutative is not satisfied, but in these two also commutative satisfy. So these 3 sets, that is Q, Z plus 5, Z plus 6 may be fields. We will see whether they are fields or not. Now the first property, these 3 are satisfied. What is the first property? R is a commutative ring with unity. Second property, every non-zero element has multiplicative inverse. Now if you see the previous slide again, multiplicative inverse only in Z plus 5 and Q, multiplicative inverse, every non-zero element is possessing multiplicative inverse. Therefore these two will become fields and all others are not field. Now see here, now let R plus dot be any ring and A comma B belongs to R, then R is said to be a field if R is a commutative ring with unity. Every non-zero element has multiplicative inverse. The examples are given: Q plus dot, R plus dot, C plus dot. These are the examples, they are the field. See there Z plus dot is not there, because already we have seen in Z 0 element is there, 0 is not possessing its inverse, and in Z set of integers not only 0, there are only 2 elements 1 and minus 1 which will possess multiplicative inverses. Other elements are not having multiplicative inverse. Suppose if you consider 2, 1 by 2, if you take its inverse 0.5, it is not an integer. Therefore Z is not possessing its multiplicative inverse, every non-zero element. Now if you take ZP, 0, 1, 2, P minus 1 is a field with respect to addition and multiplication modulo P, where P is a prime. See the previous slide. In the previous slide, Z plus 5, Z plus 6. 6 is not the prime. So it didn't become a field, but Z plus 5. 5 is a prime number. What do you mean by prime number? Prime number means which has no factors except 1 and itself. For that element it has no factors, 1 and 5. You cannot decompose 5 into factors, is it? 1 into 5 is equal to 5. 1 and 5 are the factors for 5. Okay. Now that is the prime number. That means what you have taken, R plus dot is a ring, R plus dot is a field. If R is a commutative ring with unity, every non-zero element has multiplicative inverse. Examples are field of rational numbers, field of real numbers, field of complex numbers, and ZP will be a field with respect to ordinary addition and multiplication when P is prime. Okay. Now Z plus dot is not field, and Z6 already we have given in the table also, it is not a field. Okay. Now we will see the theorem. Prove that a field has no zero divisors. Field has no zero divisors. What do you mean by zero divisors? Zero divisors means if there exists A comma B belongs to R such that AB is equal to 0 implies either A is not equal to 0 or B is not equal to 0, then that ring is said to be with zero divisors. Okay, now you have to show that it is not having no zero divisors. That means what you have to prove, AB is equal to 0 implies either A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. That you have to prove. Is it? That is the thing here. Now you have to consider field F. If F is a field, according to the definition, what is F? F is a commutative ring with unity, and every non-zero element must possess its multiplicative inverse. Is it? Now see here, field can also be explained in this way also. Now F plus dot, when will you say that F plus dot is a field? If F plus is an abelian group and F dot is a semi-group, distributive law satisfies, and every non-zero element possesses in its multiplicative inverse. Now this I will say that F plus is abelian, F minus singleton 0 dot is also abelian, distributive law says. Then you can say that F plus dot is a field. Why? Because you said it is a commutative ring with unity. That means commutative property satisfies, unity element is there with respect to multiplication. And you are saying every non-zero element satisfies, and F dot is semi-group you are saying in the definition. Therefore, you can say that field is nothing but F plus is an abelian group, F minus singleton 0 dot is also abelian group, distributive law satisfies, then you can say that F is a field. Okay. Now let F plus dot be a field. What you have to prove? A field has no zero divisors. That means you have to prove A comma B belongs to F. AB is equal to 0 implies either A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. Now take, let A comma B belongs to F. Since F is a field, every non-zero element possesses its multiplicative inverse. Therefore, A inverse belongs to F. Therefore, A inverse is equal to A inverse A is equal to 1, because F is a commutative ring with unity, and every non-zero element is possessing its multiplicative inverse. Therefore, A inverse is equal to A inverse A is equal to 1 you are having. Now consider AB is equal to 0. This you have considered. multiply on both sides. A inverse into AB is equal to A inverse into 0. But from the properties of the ring, A inverse into 0 is equal to 0. This you can write A inverse A into B is equal to 0. But A inverse A is equal to 1 from here. 1 into B is equal to 0. That implies B is equal to 0. What you have taken? AB is equal to 0 you have taken, and A is not equal to 0, then you are getting B is equal to 0. Similarly, if you take AB belongs to F, B is not equal to 0, implies A is equal to 0 when AB is equal to 0. Okay. Now, that means F has no 0 divisors. A division ring also has no 0 divisors. What do you mean by a division ring? A division ring is nothing but if it satisfies that is multiplicative or commutative property, then it will become a field. There is no difference between the division ring and field except commutative property. Division ring is also a ring with unity element and it has no 0 divisors. Is it? Every non-zero element should possess its multiplicative inverse there also. Therefore, a division ring has also no 0 divisors. That you can prove. Okay. Now, see the next theorem. That is, next theorem is P is a prime, then prove that ZP, the ring of integers modulo P, ZP, the ring of integers modulo P is a field. That means P is prime. Then in examples we have given. That is, if P is prime, it will be a field. Now take ZP. You want to take it as a field. Now we prove P is prime. You have to given that ZP, the ring of integers you have taken, and if P is also prime. Now you have to prove that ZP is a field. ZP is a field means it should be commutative ring with unity and every non-zero element should possess its multiplicative inverse. Now see here. Now ZP is 0, 1, 2, 3 etc. P minus 1. It has exactly P distinct elements. You have started with 0 and up to P minus 1, P distinct elements it is having. ZP is a finite ring. Now ZP, consequently, to prove that ZP is an integral domain, clearly 1 belongs to ZP is the unit element. Let A comma B belongs to ZP. Now A multiplication modulo P is equal to AB mod P, that is equal to BA mod P. Therefore, because A and B are the elements of Z, their commutative satisfies B A mod P, that is B cross P modulo, that is B multiplication modulo PA. Therefore, ZP commutative property satisfies in ZP. Okay. Now see the next one. Next, for A comma B belongs to ZP, 1 less than or equal to A less than or equal to P minus 1, 1 less than or equal to B less than or equal to P minus 1. That means you are taking A and B two elements in ZP. They are in between 1 and P minus 1. Okay. Now is it clear? That means non-zero elements you are taking. Okay. Now consider A multiplication modulo PB is equal to 0. That you have considered. That implies it is equal to AB is AB is equal to 0 mod P. That means P is the divisor of AB. P is the divisor of AB means P may be the divisor of A or P may be the divisor of B. That means A is equal to 0 mod P or B is equal to 0 mod P. That is either A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. That means ZP has no 0 divisors. Okay. Now ZP plus is a finite integral domain. Is it? Now we know that every finite integral domain is a field that we proved in the video integral domain. Okay, therefore ZP is a field when P is prime. Okay, now see the next one. Zn plus dot is field, then prove that n is prime number. Given that Zn plus dot is field, now n is a prime number, we have to prove that. In order to prove it, suppose n is not a prime number, that is n is composite number. N is composite number means it is product of two elements. Now see that. That is, there exists Q belongs to Z such that n is equal to MQ, where m less than or equal to n and q less than 1. M and q are lying in between 1 and n. So n is equal to mq. That is nothing but mq is congruent to 0 mod n. That is m is congruent to 0 mod n, q is congruent to 0 mod n, which implies either m is equal to n or q is equal to 1, which is a contradiction that m is less than n and q less than n. It is a contradiction to what? To your supposition. What you have supposed, that n is not a prime. That means you are getting contradiction to your supposition, means you are wrong. What is your assumption? N is not prime. If n is not prime, is wrong means n is prime. Therefore, n is a prime number. Therefore, here one note also see. In the field ZP, where P is a prime, 1 and P minus 1 are the only elements that are having their own multiplicative inverses. That is, 1 is the inverse to that, P minus 1 is also inverse to P minus 1. They are the two elements which are having their own inverses. Okay, now see the next one. Prove that the characteristic of a field is either prime or 0. It is too simple, because you have seen the characteristic of integral domain is prime or 0. Every field is an integral domain, is it? Every field is an integral domain. Therefore, the characteristic of an integral domain is either prime or 0 implies the characteristic of a field is either prime or 0. What is a characteristic? For any element A belongs to F, there exists P, the least positive integer, such that PA is equal to 0. Then P is said to be the characteristic of a ring R. Okay? Now, prove that the characteristic of a field is either prime or 0. Now, I think with this we will conclude. Thank you.